If you want abs like your favorite anime characters, then there's only two areas that you must dial in: your training and your diet. And in this video, I'll reveal the secrets that everyone's gatekeeping on how to easily develop sexy abs that guys envy and girls drool over. Let's first tackle your training. If we take a look at the optimal volume chart, which is just the amount of sets per week per muscle group we need to optimally grow our muscles, we can see that abs we only need 3 to 10 sets per week. That's not a lot of work, and that's super achievable for anyone who's looking to develop a lean, sexy midsection. But now, there's a little bit more that goes into actually choosing what exercises that you should do for training abs, so let me break it down for you right now. We want to split up our ab training into two sections: training for the upper abs and training for the lower abs. The trick I want you to understand is that anytime you're bringing your torso down to your legs, you're gonna be hitting your upper abs. And anytime you bring your legs up to your torso, you're gonna be hitting your lower abs. So now I'll go over the best exercises to do for your upper and lower abs so that you can actually develop a shredded midsection, whether you have a gym or if you're training at home. So the first exercise that hits your upper abs are sit-ups. This exercise is a staple, right? You see Sung Jin Woo do this, you see One Punch Man do this. If you want an anime level midsection, you gotta be doing sit-ups. But the thing is, you'll very quickly grow out of this because they're not too difficult. So to increase the difficulty, just grab some books that are lying around, and we'll actually cover this a little bit later, but you can take a backpack, fill it with a bunch of stuff. Do this for about 3 sets on the first day of the week. And the second day of the week, we'll hit our lower abs using hanging leg raises. You'll just want to hang off the pull-up bar and try to prevent yourself from swinging as you bring your legs up. And even if you don't have a pull-up bar, you could just find some area around the house that you can hang off of and just do it there, like I'm doing it above my staircase. And if that's too difficult for you, you can just use knee raises. It's a lot easier, still hits your lower abs, and is overall a great exercise. And if you add a twist to the top of the movement, you'll hit your obliques and your serratus, which are the muscles to the side of your abs that give it that long, pointy look. Now, if for some easier variations to hit your abs, we can just do a normal plank. This is a very, very approachable exercise. You just put on your phone timer how long you want to be there for. And if that's too easy for you, you can just take some books, shove that into a backpack, maybe like some manga, whatever you want, and you just do the plank with that. So that's one way to make it a little bit harder, but we can also take our elbows and move it up to our eyes, and that actually makes it really difficult. So there's a lot of variations that we can do with planks to make it a great exercise that'll hit our entire core. And an easier variation to hit our lower abs would just be a lying leg raise. You'll want to have something by your head that you're holding onto, and you just bring your legs up and down. And now that we're not supporting our body weight with our grip, like with a hanging leg raise, this is actually a lot easier of an exercise, but we can still make it a little bit harder just by pushing ourselves up at the top, kind of almost like a butt up, and that just makes it a little bit harder if this is still easier for you. And we can also just add that same backpack from before, add it to the end of our feet, and try and raise that up. That will make it a lot harder, and it'll be a great way to hit our lower abs. Okay, so now that we've gotten down what exercises that we should be doing, I need you to understand what actually builds muscle. Because I could just tell you, like any other fitness influencer, just like, here's these exercises, go and do them. But I actually want you to see results. So what do you think actually builds muscle? Is it how many reps you do? Is it pain? Because you say, oh, no pain, no gain. So it's like, okay, how hard you push? No, it's none of that. What actually builds muscle is mechanical tension. If your goal is to build muscle, then you are trying to optimize mechanical tension on your muscles. And all that means is a fancy term for you want to recruit as much muscle fibers as possible. You want to work it as hard as you can until you can't use that muscle anymore. And there's actually a couple of ways we can go about optimizing this mechanical tension. And we've already kind of covered one, because I've showed you the different exercises that we can do to hit our abs. And if we hit our abs with different exercises, we're hitting it from different angles with different rep ranges, right? We get a variety of stimulus to our abs, which recruits all the muscle fibers from all directions, and in turn, maximizes mechanical tension and allows us to grow the abs better. So another way that we can maximize the mechanical tension on our abs is actually a lesson that I pretty much just go over in depth in Module 12 Battle Mechanics of my training arc blueprint, but I'll give you a shortened version here. Basically, the thing that I want you to understand is that if after your set ends and you can continue doing 5, 10, 20 more reps, you're not building muscle. You need to be very close to failure to the point where you can't even do another rep no matter how hard you try. It's only at that point that those reps are actually building the most muscle. Most people literally don't train anywhere near close to failure, right? And that's why most people have shitty physiques. And so because I want you to actually develop the abs, develop the sexy midsection that will make you attractive to girls and make you more confident, I'm gonna tell you this now. Train close to failure. Now, as a small side note, if you are an absolute beginner, you've never touched a dumbbell before in your life, then for the first 2 weeks, do not actually go too close to failure. Because if you do, then you're going to get what's called delayed onset muscle soreness, or just DOMS. You will literally 2 days later feel incredibly sore in that area. You won't even be able to move. You're gonna feel like you're dying, and then it will literally last for days. And so you don't wanna push yourself super hard when you've just begun working out. It's only once you've kind of dipped your feet in the water a little bit, your body's more used to training, then you push yourself to failure. Here's 3 quick tips on how to know that you're training hard enough. Number 1, your reps must be slowing down. If your reps aren't slowing down and you're consistent through the entire exercise, then that means you still have more to push. Because if you're truly pushing to your muscles' limits, it's gonna get harder and you're going to slow down. The second tip is to just note if you're making any grunts, like uncontrollable noises, or if you're making any weird faces. Because when your face contorts and you're getting all ugly and you're making weird sounds, that's how you know you're really pushing to your limits. The last tip, on your last set, just try going to failure. If you don't know how close you are, just go to it and find out. Okay, so that's the training part of developing a nice shredded set of abs. But what about dieting? Dieting is the second half of the equation. And to be honest, if you're skinny, you're honestly gonna be fine. Just continue working out, and because you're skinny and you're in the beginning of working out, you're going to get what's called newbie gains. Newbie gains is literally the best time as a lifter because you put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. So if you're skinny, you don't really have much to worry about. But if you're a little bit more overweight, that's when we need to actually worry about dieting. Let me go over how to actually lose weight without wanting to kill yourself. First things first, you gotta weigh yourself. If you don't know how much you weigh, then you're not gonna know accurately how much weight you're losing. So weigh yourself every morning before you've drinking water, after you've taken a piss. And here's the thing, dude, your weight will naturally fluctuate every single day, right? Some days it goes up, some days it goes down, and that's totally fine. This is all because day to day, maybe you're storing slightly more water or slightly less, or maybe you ate slightly more for dinner and your body hasn't digested it yet. So what you wanna do to avoid getting discouraged because of these weight fluctuations, average it out at the end of every week. That way, you know week by week what your true weight is actually around. Now, here's the secret, okay? Listen up. You don't need to count calories. The only thing that you really need to do to lose weight is this intuitive system of week by week, is my average weight going up? Is it going down? Is it staying the same? And depending on that, you eat slightly less food or slightly more food. Everyone overcomplicates it. You gotta track your food and you gotta do all this stuff and you gotta do this diet. It's like, if your weight's not going down, eat less, or maybe just walk more, burn more calories. But of course, what you do when no matter how much food less you eat, that you still aren't losing the weight and you feel like, I'm starving myself and it's not working and nothing's gonna work and I'm never gonna lose the weight. That's when I think you just need to go about dieting a little bit smarter. So let me tell you the foods that you actually should be eating and the way to go about eating less food so that you can lose weight. So just replace your snacks with low-calorie alternatives. And so what this looks like is you can replace chips with air-popped popcorn. You can replace candy bars with 70% cocoa dark chocolate. Replace ice cream with Halo Top ice cream. Replace soda with seltzer. And let's be honest, dude, some seltzers taste fucking delicious, right? I don't know how they managed to do it, but why drink soda when you literally have seltzer? Okay, I'm a fucking whore for black cherry seltzer, okay? Now, if you still find yourself being hungry and you're like, oh, I'm eating so little food and I'm starving myself and I hate this and I have no energy, what that could mean is you're not eating enough protein. Because when you eat protein, protein is more dense, it takes longer to digest, and therefore it keeps you full for longer. And so if you find yourself being hungry, you can try this out. Eat more meats like chicken breast, turkey breast, and white fish, so like cod and tilapia. You want to avoid higher calorie cuts of meat that are fattier because fat has more calories per gram than protein. So anything like beef or pork, you'd want to stay away from those because you would literally get the same calories, but you would have to eat less of it, right? So if you want to eat more food with the same amount of calories, eat leaner cuts of meat. And if you do all of this, you replace the fatty meats with leaner cut meats so you can eat more and feel fuller, and you replace the snacks with lower calorie alternatives, then what happens is you literally lose weight without ever feeling hungry or starved. Now here's the thing. If this was all it took to develop lean, shredded abs, then you'd probably already have it by now. Like, okay, you do some sets of abs a week and you eat some leaner cuts of meat. Like, it's not that difficult. What if I told you that there was a better way to go about trying to make progress than this constant cycle of being good and then being bad, and then you're on your diet and then you're giving into food cravings and you're being consistent and then you relapse? What if I told you that there was a better way? Because there is a better way. And that way is by controlling your mind so that you don't even have the desire to give in. Imagine how effortless it would be if you wanted to stick to a diet and you never even had a thought of cheating on it. That would be overpowered. And so if you want to learn the strategies that I spent years of my life figuring out how to do this, then watch this video right here, and I'll tell you exactly how I did just that.